Hello Buccaneers, we are in Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming and we're going to show you the fun things you can do here. Today we'll be taking you to the South Loop. We just started our day and turned on the Travel Stories app, which will be our tour guide for the day.
This area gets a lot of four-legged animal traffic because of all the grass. Sometimes they're hard to see though because they have their heads down and they're chomping away.
Our first stop is the Chocolate Pots. This wasn't on our itinerary, but thanks to the Travel Stories app, it told us about this roadside landmark. It smells like sulfur here, but I'm sure that near the bigger geysers, it'll smell even more like sulfur. We're on another unplanned stop. This one's called Terrace Spring. You do not want to fall in there. Travel Story said it's not as hot as other springs, but it will still ruin your vacation. Okay, this was a good stop. Even though this might not be the best spring, or is it called Geyser Basin, it's still cool. Look, it's a natural jacuzzi that you don't want to go in.
I think I see a bit of chocolate in it.
This stop was so good, and we haven't even been to the main biggest attractions yet. Well, are they attractions? Maybe. I'm glad we came here before Grand Prismatic Spring, because otherwise we might not be as impressed by this. We just made another unplanned stop at the Fountain Paint Pot. This is a half-a-mile trail on the boardwalk. One of the highest causes of deaths in Yellowstone isn't from bears, it's from people getting burned in these hot springs. This is the fountain paint pot, so you can hear the bubbles. Whoa, this geyser is erupting. So overall, this is the best unplanned stop so far. After 2 hours, we finally reached our first planned stop, the Grand Prismatic Spring and Midway Geyser Basin. This is cool because there's an orange waterfall and a main river here, and you can see steam coming out. I wonder if this main river is hot because of that pouring down. This is the Excelsior Geyser Crater.
It just is.
It just is.
It just is.
Look at that. Look, someone dropped their hat. That could be you, Cowboo. Oh, his butt's showing. Over here you can feel the steam, and you're looking into the fog. Well, it's not fog, it's steam. We're approaching the Grand Prismatic Spring. This will be the best one. It's better from aerial view, but you can still see the red, the yellow, and the blue. These ones are animal footprints. Might be buffalo or bison. This one you can see underneath, it goes deep down. This is a very turquoise pool, and it's called Opal Pool. And that is the trail to Grand Prismatic Spring.
My favorite part was taking all the cool photos and time lapses and panos all around the whole trail.
This was a very nice walk. It was a boardwalk, so you don't have to worry about tripping and stuff, of course, which means you can put all your attention to the wonderful colors and springs around you.
And also,
there's more than one too, but Grand Prismatic Spring is the best.
And also you don't get bored on the walk. On to the next stop.
And that is Old Faithful.
My favorite part was just getting some slow-mos and photos.
My favorite part was seeing it shoot up high, although it only did for a few seconds. The rest of the time it was kind of low, so I wish it was a bit higher for most of the time. It erupted 7 minutes after the prediction, and I didn't mind waiting for it because we got to do the Junior Ranger booklets and go eat ice cream for lunch, so it's fun hanging out in this village.
Now we're at the Continental Divide.
Our elevation is around 8,200, and basically Well, actually, I'm not sure what is east and what is west, but all water one way goes to the Pacific and all water the other way goes towards the Atlantic. Once again, Travel Stories was the one that took us here, and there's a nice lily pond there. It's time to hike at the West Thumb Geyser Basin. Oh, don't drop Camu, remember. This is the Abyss Pool. I forgot how deep it is, but I read somewhere that it's the deepest in Yellowstone of these. Are these springs? Yeah, whatever. At art class, I found a picture of this place, this exact spot in Yellowstone, because I remember the walkway kind of slopes down like that. So I'm painting this. It's so cool to finally be here. Isn't it so cool?
And another cool thing about this is that you can actually feel some of the smoke that's coming out of the springs. Oh, it's so warm.
Apparently, I've been painting the black pool. I didn't even know the name of what I was painting.
This is called Big Cone because it's a big cone.
There are a few geysers that are underwater. This one's called Bluebell Pool, and the ranger over there said that if the pool looks like swimming pool blue, that's the hottest. And that is the West Thumb Geyser Basin.
My favorite part is seeing all the springs all around, and especially the ones that are underwater. Those are very cool.
I think the Grand Prismatic spring from earlier is more awesome because there's more colors in the spring, but this one has more quantity and also interesting ones like the underwater spring or the ones by the lake. So I think they're both worth visiting and they're unique in their own way. We're now at the mud volcano. This is the last planned stop of the day, and this is also the smelliest stop. I'm not gonna go in the restroom by the mud volcano, but honestly, I think it's less stinky than the hot springs, and I heard a little kid say that too. But what's interesting about this restroom is there's a squat toilet. That's the first I've seen in North America. We need 25 yards. Okay. Hurry, Dada.
Hurry! I will kick you.
That was the closest we've gotten to a bison, but we try to stay safe by being away from its path. And we were like, well, you're supposed to be 25 yards away. I don't know if we were that much. But anyways, the bison didn't charge at anyone, and there were some people who were so close to it, and it just happily went along. Now it's up at the hill. This is the churning cauldron. It's 170 degrees, and look how wild it is. Over here's another bison. We were just talking about seeing a bison on the trail and like, what if it comes up to us? But luckily it's just there. This is called Dragon's Mouth Spring because it looks like there's a dragon living in there. The mud volcano was super unique because everything there was a muddy color and super stinky. And I liked the ones that had bubbling stuff and the dragon's mouth. Plus, we saw a bison there. That was totally unexpected. Today we finished the south loop of Yellowstone. It's the more touristy and crowded loop, but it might be the better loop too because it had so many interesting sights. And with the help of Travel Stories, we were able to go to places that were off the beaten path as well as the most popular destinations. You pretty much only need one day to drive the South Loop unless you want to do all the hikes, then you'll need multiple days. Or if you want to go more slowly, that would also take multiple days. If you're driving the South Loop, it might be best to do it counterclockwise because most of the scenic pullouts are on this side, so it's just easier to pull out and come back when you're going counterclockwise.
Oh my goodness. Wait, don't go yet. I want a photo.
Do you see? We see a bison. There's a whole field of bisons on the left. Okay, so by now we've seen enough bison and they're just holding up all the cars now. And we're so hungry for dinner.